so I can respect your time on a Saturday morning. Thank you guys for letting me adjust this and do this on a Saturday instead of Thursday when I almost died. I am feeling so much better now. And I was telling John, like, I would 100 times. I don't get like head colds for 3 days. I get head colds for like 2 weeks, and I'm miserable, and like the slow climb to the miserable 3 days and then the decline. Like, I hate it. I would rather puke my brains out for 18 hours than have a 2-week head cold, because then yesterday I felt like nothing ever happened. It was just like I felt 100% better, which was crazy. So as miserable as I was on Thursday, and I couldn't, you guys, I was so weak. I couldn't like do anything. Like, it was hard for me to walk, like to take steps. It was like the craziest thing. I haven't ever felt like that. But still, it was one day, and I'll take that over. Anyway, it was so nice to be like fully back in the saddle yesterday, and I feel great today. And I'm really excited for you guys because you're about to get started on this journey on Monday. And this was actually feedback that I got from the group. So I just kind of run these ongoing boot camps where we start new waves of people. And so there's a whole bunch of you. There's more than 37 that are going to be starting on, I think there's like 100 of you actually that are starting on Monday. But I don't like to have people wait until the next group starts, like every 30 or 60 or 90 days, however long. I like people whenever they're ready, because as you know, if you give yourself time, you'll talk yourself out of it. And so when you're ready, I want to get you going. And so there was feedback from the group that that even though, so I hope you guys saw in the reply, it was all my assistant that you've spoken with so far, unless I still do my Instagram messages. But for all the back and forth, that was all my assistant. I mean, it's my words. I give her everything to say. But hopefully she sent you guys all the ebook that I have that tells you, there's two. So if you enrolled to be a coach, even if you enrolled for the discount, there's a coaching one. But the one that I'm referring to is the Bootcamp one. And I'll actually talk about that at some point. But if you go, what is that one called? I think it's called like Self-Love Fit Club. I gotta see if I can find it down here. Your Fit Academy. Hold on, I'm gonna try to find it. But in there, that has also everything that you need to know to get started. I show you where to access your workouts. I talk to you about the meal plan. I explain my take on the meal plan. I talk to you about your measurements and before photos, but this call is just kind of going to be a download of that, and to explain a little bit about the boot camp, because what we had found was I was adding people into the boot camp, but then they were just feeling like you're joining a group that's already started, which you are, and then it just feels kind of confusing. So what happens is I run these groups basically quarterly, like 3 months, and then I'll open a new one and move people over. And I'm thinking about like changing that format now, and maybe just having like every month or so having just the new people in a group, and then you'll graduate into a group, but I'm not sure yet. So it's constantly changing. If, as you guys go through this, you have feedback for me that you think would, make this experience better, I'm here for it. Let me know. But what I wanted to go through today with you is where to access your workouts, what workouts you should be doing, and then cover the meal plan and a few other little things. So we'll get to the ebook at the end, but I'm going to share my screen. And then I'll talk a little bit more also about the bootcamp, what to expect. So, to access your workouts, everything, and your meal plan is at beachbodyondemand.com. So beachbodyondemand.com, and you will just need to make sure that you're logged in. I might already be. Let's see if this loads here. Yeah, okay, so I'm already logged in. But everything is under here. So your workouts will be here. It's still loading. Your workouts will be here on this page. Nutrition tab, which is like most of you, I think, ordered the Ultimate Portion Fix. That'll be under the nutrition tab. So here are your options. Is this it? So you can click. Why is nothing? Oh, there. So you can click on workouts to see all the different workouts. Now, I would recommend when you purchase, your pack, you get access to every single workout we've ever created, and you have a year-long membership, so you'll get access to every workout that we release within the next year. The caveat to that, I guess, is the program that I'm testing right now. It's available for early purchase in July. It doesn't actually release until August. So, or like July, very end of July or something like that. So you can do a digital unlock for that. And we'll talk more about that when that time comes, like mid-July or so. I'll talk more about it. But if you don't want to purchase that, then you can wait until it loads into your library. So you will get access to everything, but they do offer like VIP early access on programs. But right now, there's nothing that you don't have that people have access to. So there's a couple places that I feel like you might want. I'm going to explain some of the workout programs, and you guys can decide which one you want to do. Lift 4, this one here, is a combination of strength training and weights. The workouts are 30 to 40 minutes, I think, and it's 4 days a week. So that one's really great if you feel really busy or really busy and you can't work out more than 4 days a week, or you like to do some other, like if you like to go to Orange Theory, or you like to go to spinning classes, or you're training for some sort of race or something like that. Like, this is a great one because it's only 4 days a week, and then you can add in other cross training days. When I did it, I only did 4 days a week. And so you'll still get amazing results with this. Transform 20 is the one that I just did right before the program that I'm testing now. That one is the one with a step. You can do it without a step as well. They have someone in every program that does it without a step. That one is 20-minute workouts. It's a 6-week program, and it is 20 minutes that will kick your ass. Like, at the end of it, you're like, there was no way that was only 20 minutes. For sure, that was 2 years. That was so hard. But it's so good, and there are modifiers, and you can go slower, take your time. Sean T, who's the trainer, this guy's name is Sean T. He's just like a freak of nature. But you do feel like a badass when you do it, and there's no equipment other than the steps. So just your body weight. And again, you don't necessarily need the steps. So I loved it. That shredded my lower half. The other two that I think are really amazing, and the most recent ones to be added into the library, is the 21-Day Fix and 21-Day Fix Extreme in real time. So there were the original 21-Day Fix, these two down here, but it's only 7 workouts, and each one of these programs is 3 weeks. So this is a 6-week total thing. But it was only 7 workouts in 21-Day Fix, and then 7, and you just repeated them. On the real-time ones, it's 21 different workouts. And she also graduates them. So like in week 1, you do moves, and then in week 2, it steps up a little bit. In week 3, it steps up a little bit. And then she has an easier transition between the 21-Day Fix and 21-Day Fix Extreme, because this one is with weights primarily. Those are all 30-minute workouts. So this is a 6-week program. This is a 6-week program. Lift 4 is an 8-week program. And if you are going to want to start Morning Meltdown, which is the program I'm testing right now, with us, we have 8 weeks. So you've got time to do any of these. Now, of course, we've got a whole bunch of other ones, but these are the 3 that I would recommend right now. This is 7 days a week, the 21-Day Fix, but 1 day is Pilates and 1 day is yoga. So those are, much slower pace, and you could probably, if you needed a rest day, you can, and this goes with every program. If you need a rest day, you can move things around and double up because the workouts are so short. I mean, these Lift 4 is a little bit longer at 40 minutes, but the workouts are so short that, you can do, if you did 2 of these is hard. I've tried it because the workouts are so intense, but you can do it and you're still 40 minutes. These ones you do 2 and it's under an hour. So you could double up if you need to and move things around. But those are the 3 I would recommend. When you go there, you just click on it. All of them here's the overview. All of them have the workouts here, and then they've got their program materials. And then if you prefer to use your phone, or you're in a place where you don't have a lot of service, because this is all streaming, there is an app called the Beachbody On Demand app. You'll log in with your same Beachbody credentials. Let me take a sip. Hold on. Mm. And as I'm talking, if you guys have questions, pop them in the chat. We'll get to those for sure at the end. But there's a Beachbody On Demand app. And on the app, you are able to go into the program, and there's a little like box with an arrow pointing down. That means you download it to your phone. So if you don't have great service, or you're going on vacation or something and you don't know what the service is going to be like, you know, download them at your house before you go on vacation, or drive into town and go to Starbucks and use their Wi-Fi and download them. And you can get 7 at a time. So you can get 7 of the workouts downloaded into your device, into that app. So you can do that, but it's all the same stuff there. You can view these workouts on your phone, on any internet browser. I use a Roku. You just have to add the Beachbody channel. I've heard Amazon Fire. There's lots of different ways to access them. Okay, no matter what program you do, you're going to follow the original 21-day fix meal plan. So if you click on that, program materials, and click on nutrition here, under, I'm gonna have to see where it is. I think it's, okay, yeah, the eating plan. So this is the original 21-day fix eating plan. This is the one that I teach you as a base to get started, because most people come to me having, you know, like serial dieters, and having bounced from diet to diet to diet. That was my story, diet to diet to diet. None of them worked. You know, I tried them all with little success, and then I would just binge after because of the restriction. And what I want to do is get you out of the diet mentality, and we will be working hard on that. But I also know that if you are a serial dieter, to come in here and give you no rules and say, okay, it's now time to eat intuitively and just go for it, eat what you want when you want, that's a really hard transition to make, because you've got all these hangups around food right now. You've got all these thoughts that like there is some food that's good, some food that's bad. If I'm dieting, I can't eat this. If I do that, if I do eat that, then I'm bad and I failed and I'm going to binge and I'm going to shame spiral. I'm going to eat everything that isn't nailed down. I'm going to start again on Monday. Like all these food rules that we've been abiding by for so long. And so I give you this plan. On here, you're going to figure out what your calorie allotment is or whatever. And then you'll go and you'll figure out what plan you're in based on what this calculation says. You'll figure out what plan you're in based on the plan that you're in. So I generally, if you fall in plan A, I don't really ever think that's enough food. So I usually bump everyone up to plan B. And there's not really a huge difference. It's 1 more serving of fruit, it's 1 more serving of carb, and it's 1 more serving of fat. Like that's the only difference between plan A and plan B. So I just prefer that. I like more fruit, I like more carbs, and I like more fat. So this is what you'll follow, and then it goes into what you can, so here's some sample meal plans, and then it goes into what can go into your containers, right? So here's your green, here's the veggies, here's the purple is fruit, here's your red, you know, and it goes from like best content at the top to least at the bottom. Whatever, I don't follow any of that. I don't give a shit. I don't like food rules. I feel like I fudge things all the time, because what I don't want you guys to do is think, I'm going to stop this for a second, is think that you have to be perfect on this plan. So it's going to give you an outline, but that is just an outline. And I'm going to explain like one of the days when I first started kind of transitioning. So how I went from a serial dieter to a totally free intuitive eater was using this plan to kind of help me transition, and taking off some of those. It helped me release that like hold and the rules that I had around food. So in that plan, if you follow it to a T, you also get 3 times a week, you can replace one of your yellow containers, one of your carbs, yellow is carbs, with a treat of your choice. Again, I don't follow the treat list that they give us because it's BS. Like, what is on their treat list? Let me see, guys. Their treat list. So here's your yellows, here's your carbs, okay? Fats, all kinds of fats, substitutions. I don't count this either. Like if you're using Shakeology, if you're using milk in your Shakeology, you're not counting that as a yellow. Blow me. Like no one is getting fat or not losing weight by having 8 ounces of milk or almond milk in their shake. No, thank you, ma'am. All right, here's your treats, okay? This is what, oh, dried apricots. Oh my gosh, what a tasty treat. How sinful. Dried figs, prunes. Are you serious with this? No. Dried apple rings, dried cranberries. Like, where is the margarita? Where is the deep dish pizza? Where are the nachos, right? Okay, no, this treat list does not work for me, and it probably doesn't work for you. Because this stuff, oh, Shakeology peanut butter snack bar. Oh, what a real treat. I have that 4 times a day. Give me a break. So I don't follow the treat list. My rule around treats is you can sub it out 3 times a week. Because really it's like, this is a portion control plan. And the idea for me with portion control is really just like, ideally, you're just staying more clued into your body. That's what you're going to get a lot from me, like tuning in instead of listening to outside rules. And so with the treats, it's the same thing. Why I say 3 times a week, eventually you'll get to the point where I don't know how many treats a week that I have, because treats no longer get me off track. They don't spiral me. They don't mean anything to me. So I can have 4 cookies, or I could have a bite of a cookie. Just depends on what I want and what I feel like. But that's not how it started. It started by me still having to compartmentalize and be able to check a box. So, but I don't want you following that treat list, because I want you to be able to eat what you actually want to eat and not feel guilty about it. But 3 times a week, you can replace one of your yellows with a treat of your choice. So if you want a margarita, which is not on that list, you will have a margarita. Sometimes I have 2 margaritas for my yellow. I don't count it as 2 yellows, right? Because the way I see it is, if I'm being mindful, what I would normally have before this plan is I would have, 4 margaritas, all the chips and salsa, decide that I was a piece of shit and that this day was written off. So then I would also have the nachos and the cake. And then when we got home, I'd have pizza, and then I'd have this and that and that. So it's like, for me, it's still a huge win, even if you're having the 2 margaritas when she says you should have 4 ounces of wine for a yellow. Like, I'm still winning. Do you know what I mean? You're still coming out ahead. So that's the way I want you guys to be thinking about treats. Have what you want. And, but like, don't have a whole piece of pizza or a whole slice or have a whole piece of pizza. Do not have an entire, medium-sized pizza and count it as a yellow. That is not what your body wants. Your brain is saying, oh, my body wants this, because you've been on a restriction period for so long. Nobody feels good after eating an entire pizza. Like that, just, you feel heavy and gross and blah. But have 2 pieces, sure. And if you have 2 pieces of pizza, I would count that as 2 yellows, because the crust is carbs, right? But if you have 2 pieces and a beer, I don't know, maybe count it as 2, maybe count it as 3 yellows. Kind of up to you. The thing that I love about this plan is, what I mean when I don't want you to be perfect is, having any kind of guideline is going to be helpful. It's just going to be, it's just teaching you to be more mindful about what it is that you're putting in your body. So you're still making sure, if you're having the pizza and the beer, you're still making sure you're getting in your greens. You're still getting in your veggies. You're still getting in your proteins and stuff like that. But you're being mindful. And so here's what I want to walk you through a day where when I first started doing this and kind of being more free with it. So here's what happened. In the morning, we had an event. I was traveling in Dallas, so we were on vacation. Well, it was a work thing, but in the morning I had a shake on the way to this event. Okay, so I have my red. I usually put Power Greens in it. Beachbody has a supplement called Power Greens. If you do 2 scoops of that, that counts as a green. I struggle to get my veggies in, so I like that. I'll put Power Greens in. It was probably a banana. I mean, this was a couple years ago now, so it's probably a banana and peanut butter, right? So that's a red container is Shakeology, your protein. Banana is purple, which is a fruit. Peanut butter is a teaspoon, the fat, and Power Greens didn't count for anything at the time. I think that's all I said I put in it, right? So I've checked those boxes. Then after the event, everyone wanted to go out to Mexican food. So we go to Mexican food. I have chips and salsa, yellow. I ordered, I don't think I drank that day. I don't think I mean, this was an old Ashley where I was just like, I still had to, you know, follow this plan and have some restriction because I was out of control. There was no, it was wheels on fully or wheels totally off. And I was just basket case. So I don't think I had any drinks that day, but I did order tacos for the protein. And then there was veggies in it. And there was some tostada appetizers, if I remember. Okay, so I had that. So I count, like, there's guacamole, which is a blue, that's a fat. There's cheese, which is an orange. Actually, I think that might be a blue container, but whatever. I interchange the fats because you get one blue, which is like guacamole, hummus. I don't know why that's a blue. Cheese, and then orange containers are like nuts and seeds, and then teaspoons are oils and nut butters. But I kind of like I just do whatever. So if I want avocado on my salad that day, but then I also want cheese on my tacos that night, that's 2 blue containers, but I'll just count one as like an orange or one as a teaspoon, right? Like, so I'll still check the box of like, I'm getting my fat portions in. I'm just not following exactly what buckets they go into, right? But I'm checking that box. So at that Mexican place, I had like probably 2 yellows with all the chips and then the taco shells. And I had 1 green with the tomatoes and the lettuce. I probably had 1 red with the meat that was in my tacos. Okay, so that's good. That's probably what I counted that as. Then we went out to ice cream after. And instead of getting like what I do now is usually like a split scoop, try different flavors on a waffle cone. But back then when I was bridging this gap, I didn't want to miss out, but I had sorbet. So I had like strawberry sorbet in a cup, still treated myself, I counted that as a purple, which is a fruit. So I was able to like check these boxes, right? And then it comes to dinner time. And what I had left was like 2 greens, 2 reds, and an orange container, which is 2 servings of veggies, 2 servings of protein, and an orange, which is fat. So I was like, a salad. Normally, if I went out to Mexican food that day, at night I would say, and this was Sunday, at night I would say, well, screw it. I had Mexican food and like ice cream. I'm going to have pizza tonight because I've already ruined this day. And because I was able to compartmentalize and still feel like I was on plan checking a box, I was like, well, I'm going to have a salad tonight. So we went to Chipotle and I got a salad and I got, just the greens. I didn't have any of the corn and the beans and whatever. I got the greens, the protein, and the salad dressing. And that is what I used. And then I was able to check my boxes in all of my whatever for that day. Now, was it perfect according to this plan of what's laid out in the book? No. But it was still great for me. And as I started to do those things, I was still seeing results because I was still abiding by the diet, right? I was following the diet. I was able to check boxes and not think I was doing anything wrong. And so I feel like that's kind of what we need when we're first starting is you kind of cling to those rules, right? If you have all the freedom, that's when you start YOLOing. And I also call it, I don't know if any kids are watching, but I also call it what the fuck eating. Like, oh, what the fuck, I'm going to have that. Like, I don't really want it. Doesn't even sound good. Oh, what the fuck, I'm going to have it. It's there. Free food, what the fuck, I'm going to have that. WTF, like when you're out of control, I remember one of the time, this is when I first, if you follow me on Instagram and you have for a while, I talked about this last year. We went to France and I'd just been like eating whatever, came home, just kept eating whatever because it's sometimes hard to get back after vacation. And I wanted a coffee and I had decided this place is really, their scones are amazing. I didn't want a scone that morning, but I was like, well, if they have them, because they sell out, if they have it, I'm going to buy it just because I can, because I'm WTF eating right now. And I thought, well, why are you doing that? Like, if you're not actually choosing it, like if you're eating things you don't want, that's not good. So I walked in, they did have scones, and I walked out with just a coffee. And I felt like that was a huge win. But that's what I mean by the WTF eating. It's like you're just shoveling things in because it's there, or because you feel like what's the point, or because you're not seeing results fast enough, or because you've screwed things up and you're like feeling like you'll start again on Monday or whatever. So that kind of stuff, right? I'm trying to turn that part of your brain off, but I'm trying to give you like a bridge to get there. So you're still having like some food rules here to help you, but I don't want you acting like this is a Bible. So use the containers. You got containers with your plan. And if you don't have your program and stuff yet, there are measurements as well in here. So it'll say like, one green is like 10 asparagus spears, or like one slice of bread is a yellow, or whatever. So it has measurements as well. And you can also just kind of eyeball, like, what would a serving size of carbs be? Like a half cup of rice would be a yellow, right? Or like a chicken breast, actually, depending on the size. Chicken breast could be 1 red or it could be 2 reds, just depending on the size. But, look and think, like, what does this feel like? So if you don't have your stuff yet, you can still get started, because I don't want you really use the containers for the first couple days, the first week, something to gauge so use a container, put stuff in your container and then dump it on a plate. Cause I want you to see what it looks like on a plate outside of the container, right? Hold on, I'm supposed to be drinking this because I need to work out right after we finish this call. I had an appointment this morning. This is my pre. You guys should all be getting a sample either of this, depending what pack you bought, either of this or the intro workout or hydrate. This is a mix of our lemon and fruit punch, energize. Anyway, so what was I saying? Guys, what was I just saying before that? Before I took a drink.
You were saying to use the container just to put it in the plate so we have an idea of what it looks like.
Thank you. Okay, so use the container, get an idea, start getting an idea of what portions look like, and then stop using containers as soon as you feel comfortable, because I also I don't want you to be following this plan to the point when you go out to eat and you're like, oh my God, I don't know what to have because how many containers is this? Like, because people freak out. And if you have a recipe, like you freak out. And I get it because I was the same. I'm like, if I don't follow this exactly, then I need to just check and see if there's any kids in these photos because I want to swear all the time. Okay, most of you have your cameras turned off, so if there's a kid there, I'm not at fault for it, but oh shoot, there's a baby. Natalie, but I can swear in front of your kid. Yeah. Hey girl. Oh my gosh, Natalie, you guys, it's so crazy when I see people. So this is someone that I worked with. She introduced me to John. This is the girl that introduced me to my husband. So crazy. Anyway. Okay, so, I hate when people freak out about okay, Natalie, we met at PF Chang's, right? So if you're going to go to PF Chang's and you don't have your containers with you because you're not a psychopath who wants to bring your containers out to dinner, like who wants to do that? I want you to be able to kind of guess and say here's my Mongolian beef. I'm going to count that as it's going to be a red, right? Beef is a red. I'm going to look and I'm going to say, this is roughly a serving of protein. So I can check that box. If I get the Chang's chicken, which is my favorite, that's what we always get, Chang's chicken and Mongolian beef. Chang's chicken has some breading on it. I'm going to count that as a red and a yellow, depending how much I eat, because that's a protein and a carb, right? But I'm not going to freak out and be like, I can't eat this because I don't have my containers. That's not a way to live. What I want this to become for you guys is a lifestyle. So I want you to start. That's why I want you to use the containers to get an idea of what portions look like. But what if you want lasagna? That's all layered. How are you going to decide? You can roughly guess based on the size of the lasagna, is this roughly a yellow? I'm going to count it as a yellow for the noodles. Okay, if it's a meat lasagna, I'm going to count it for a red or a half of a red, depending how much meat's in there. I'm going to count it as a blue because of the cheese, maybe a blue and an orange because the fat, right, in there. So that's the fat. Maybe there's veggies, so maybe you also count it as half of a green, or you count the red sauce. I mean, red sauce is technically a purple, but I don't count marinara sauce as a purple because blow me. So I'm going to count the red sauce as half of a green, right? So that's your lasagna, and then you're going to pair it with a salad. Okay, and so do you see why I want you guys to just be able to check boxes but not have shackles on. So that's how you're going to function when you go out to eat and when you make recipes and stuff. You're just guessing, because I want you to realize that having any kind of guidelines is still going to make you light years better than if you had none. think about, and these are also wins. If you guys work in the corporate world, we used to have like free stuff all the time. There were like always parties at work and free food. I know nurses, you guys all, and teachers, well, I guess it's summer now, but like people bring free stuff all the time in the break room, right? And so it was like, there's something about free food that you're just attracted to. Like, I have to eat it because it's free. So it's a win if normally you would go in and it's like someone's retirement party. So they've got a whole spread and you would have all of it. Like, you would walk in the room and like, well, clearly I'm not on my diet now, so I'm gonna eat everything. And I'm not going to listen to even what I want. That is a time where it would happen where I would just eat because it was there, because right now there's no rules, right? So, and then I'll start again tomorrow. So you walk in the room and you have all of it. It's still a win if you walk into that room and you didn't plan on it, but you had a brownie and a cupcake. That's a win because you walked out of there eating a brownie and a cupcake. If you normally would have walked out of there having brownie, cupcake, 4 cupcakes, pizza, the nachos, the cheese dip, the angel food kit, like if you would have had all the stuff and you had, because you were aware and you're like, these are 2 yellows for me, you can check those boxes, you're still winning. You know what I mean? Like, that's still a huge win because it's way different than you would have eaten if you had that diet mentality of I'm either on or I'm off. There is no on or off. And I also want to be clear, this is a guideline for you guys, but you can have whatever you want, whenever you want it. And I mean this, as long as you choose it. If you consciously make the decision that I want this, then you can have it. Now, that means that the second a craving comes up, you don't indulge the craving. You don't scratch that itch. You sit with it for a bit and you decide, is this something I really want? Or is it? And I actually, just in last week's bootcamp call, I talked about emotional eating. The replays, you guys can go back and watch all my previous bootcamp calls from this round of the bootcamp. They're pinned under announcements. But I talked about emotional eating, that a lot of times we eat things for all kinds, boredom, frustration, stress, love, anxiety, depression, all kinds of things. But sometimes cravings come because you had a hard day. And some of you, actually probably 100% of you, will at some point, you'll be feeling totally on track. You'll be feeling like, I got this. And then shit will hit the fan and your kid will be homesick, or your manager will yell at you, or you'll fuck up a project at work, or somebody will have a bad, you'll get bad news in your family, or you get a flat tire. Something stressful is going to happen because that's life. And you will find yourself in the drive-thru. You will find yourself at the bottom of an empty wine bottle. You'll find yourself, knee deep in a bag of cookies. That's going to happen because we're used to emotional eating, and that's okay. But what I want you to do, because that's when our brain turns off. That's when we say, I don't care. I'm going to have this. I'm just going to have it. It's okay. Like, those are all, what I want you to realize is there's no off and on. It's still it's one road you're walking on. It's just peaks and valleys and dips and like winds and curves. It's not straight and narrow. And the problem is, when you normally follow diet, you think it's just like, it's only this is the only way. But that's not, like, then you miss all the scenery, you miss all the things. You don't mess up, that you don't get off track. So I want you to get rid of that, I'm on the wagon, off the wagon, like fall off track. Like, there is none of that in this group. Okay. So, because it really is a lifestyle plan, and I don't care how good your results are in 30, 60, 90 days. I care that you are living a lifestyle that is sustainable for you, that you don't feel like you're missing out on anything, and where you'll still be here a year from now feeling like you can follow this plan. Because a year from now, your body will, like, if you take care of this mind shit we have going on, your body will take care of itself. If you consciously choose food and you don't do it out of self-loathing, and you don't do it out of a shame spiral, and you don't do it YOLOing or WTFing or any of the other reasons, if you're just eating because you actually want it, you will eat food that actually, like, it sustains you, it nourishes you. For me, like, unfortunately, pizza is not a big thing that I can have anymore because of gluten, but like tacos are a big thing that I have to have in my life. Margaritas are something I have to have in my life. I love nachos. Unfortunately, John doesn't, and I don't like to have a whole nacho to myself, but nachos are burgers and fries at a restaurant. Like, there are things that I need. but I don't need those all day, every day. I need them sometimes. When I listen to my body, it really does ask for movement and nutrition. Like it really does. It asks for water. It asks for vegetables. It asks for stuff that is going to make me feel good. And sometimes the pizza or burger is what feels good and it's what I need. I need it, but I don't have it the second that it comes into my brain, right? Like I don't scratch that itch immediately. If you always give in to cravings, then you will always give in to cravings. You have to start regaining control of yourself. So that's what I mean when I say consciously choose it, okay? I'm really diving deeper into this meal plan because I think it's the most important, because it's not just what is outlined in this thing. Like it's so much more than that. It's really getting rid of it. And so I'm going to work more on your mind than anything else, because I know if you work on your mind, body takes care of itself. I want you guys to focus on drinking a lot of water. I want you to focus on getting a good amount of sleep. I don't want you to stress if you get sick or something comes up or you injure yourself. Like if you can't do your workout, that's another thing that will come up for every single one of you. At some point, there will be a day that you can't do your workout. Something unexpected happens, or you're traveling. Maybe it is expected you're traveling or whatever. And there's this worry of like, oh no, I'm afraid I'm going to lose all my progress. That's that diet mentality. That's the one we're getting away from. I want you, every time those thoughts come up, to ask yourself if that makes sense. If I miss today's workout because I'm sick, because I'm injured, if I miss this week's workout, whatever, because I'm sick, because I'm injured, because my kid's sick, because I'm traveling, whatever, does that really mean that I can't see results, or that I can't make progress, or that I can't complete this program, or that I suck? Like the answer is no. If you think about that, because again, I'm not here for just 30, 60, 90 days. I'm here for the rest of your life. So like, does a day, 2, 3, a week, 2 weeks in the scheme of the rest of your life, does that really tip the needle? No, it doesn't. So ask yourself that. And like another thing that they have is like a quarter of an avocado as a blue. Does it really make sense to have a quarter of an avocado, or could I have the whole half? Am I really going to be gaining all the weight or not losing any of the weight by having an extra quarter of an avocado? Like when you're 50 pounds overweight and someone's like, oh, how'd you do that? Well, I kept eating the extra quarter of an avocado. Like, no, that doesn't make sense. Same thing with like a half of a banana as a purple. Okay, but you know what happens to the other half of the banana? It's brown and disgusting. So I'm going to have the whole banana and I'm going to count it as a purple, because I'm not gaining 50 pounds because I had an extra half of a banana. You know what I mean? I'm gaining 50 pounds because I decided that I was bad if I had the extra half of the banana, because that was against the rules. So since I fucked up in the morning by putting that banana into my superfood shake, now I'm going to eat everything else for the rest of the day because I already messed up, right? Do you see what I'm saying? Like that's why you gain the 50 pounds, or that's why you can't lose the weight. It's because of the rules that you have attached to these foods and what you do after you eat them. It's not the actual, like, it's not even eating the bag of Sour Patch Kids. It's that you decided when you have the bag of Sour Patch Kids that you're a piece of shit, and now you're going to eat everything else and you're going to start again on Monday. So now you have the whole weekend where you're like wheels off and you've got to get it all in. You're just binging because, they're going away on Monday. Can't have them again starting Monday. Monday's my new me, but that like doesn't work. So ask yourself when these things come up if that makes sense. I'm sorry, every time I hit the table, it like really shakes. But yeah, okay. So I think that's good about the meal plan. The other thing I want to talk about, so I showed you how to get the workouts, meal plan. The other thing I want to talk about is progress. So you will see, I don't know if I'm the only Beachbody coach you follow. It's very rare. I feel like there's tons of Beachbody coaches, so there's probably multiple people in your feed that you follow. Thank you for choosing me. Thank you for trusting me with your journey. I will do my best, but as you see, the group is huge. So it's just one of me. That's why we're doing this kickoff call. But then also, I try to go live several days a week, try to catch those videos that I put up there. I do the weekly bootcamp calls. They're Wednesday mornings, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. They're always recorded and I post the replays. So try to, tune into those so you'll get more of me. But you'll see a lot of other Beachbody coaches talking about how, they share their challengers' results. And they're like, look she lost 20 pounds. She did this. I don't give a shit how much weight you lose. I don't give a shit about it. Like, I don't want you weighing yourself. Actually, it's forbidden. So if you have a scale, put it away. I don't give a shit. There is absolutely no reason that you need to know how much you weigh. Like, the only reason scales need to be a thing, and I've thought long, if you can change, like if you can think of one other reason, let me know. But the only reason I think scales need to be a thing is for the post office to be able to weigh your packages to know how much to charge when you send something. That's the only thing that I have come up with. Because for sure, weight does not indicate health. You can generally look at someone and say like, well, they're overweight and that's probably tough on their body. I mean, when I was pregnant, I gained 60 or 65 pounds with my pregnancy. I just felt, even after Rev was out of me, when I wasn't carrying another baby anymore, it just like, it hurt to stand, like the shower, by the end of my shower, my joints were aching, like it was, my feet hurt, you know, it was just like a lot of extra, and I didn't have the stamina or the endurance. Like, you can look at somebody, you can look at yourself and say, okay, I would probably feel better and have more energy if I got some weight off. You don't need to know or have this dumb goal in your brain of like, I need to be 150 pounds, or I need to lose 30 pounds or whatever. Like, you don't need that. You don't need to know how much you weigh. It's not an indicator of health. I have always, even in high school, when I was like I mean, I've always kind of had this same like muscular body, but I was always like lean and really strong and, you know, I was a size 2 in high school. I was always on the high end of the BMI chart because of the way that my body carries muscle. Like, I just have you seen my legs? They're bricks. So I always am on the high end of it. And I know that I'm healthier than some of my genetically thin friends who have Taco Bell and nacho cheese, you know, IV'd into their body. Like, I know that I'm healthier than them, even though I'm bigger or way more. So I don't believe that health is an indicator. I also know that lots of you will not listen to me because you're scale addicts. And those of you who are scale addicts and choose not to listen to me, you will feel very frustrated in this program at some point. Because you're really excited right now because you've done this before. It's that excitement building up to like, this is going to be the new thing that's going to change my life. But then you give all the power to the scale. And if the scale doesn't move as fast as you want it to, or as drastically as you want it to, in the time that you want it to, you'll decide this program doesn't work. I can assure you, with 1,000,000% confidence, it works. It works if you work it, but it only works if you trust. Because you are not smarter than your body. Your body is a machine. Your body is a science. It's organisms. Like, your body knows what to do. But if you get on the scale and in 2 weeks you've lost a pound or 2 pounds, or maybe you're up a pound or 2 pounds, or whatever the case may be, you could be feeling amazing and so proud of yourself, but you get on that scale and you're like, oh my, damn it. This has been so much effort. And look, I've lost 2 pounds or I've gained a pound. What's the point? I'm not going to screw this. I'm out. That is what happens when you use the scale. Or the other thing that happens is maybe you don't quit, but you feel deflated. So that happens too, where people are like, I'm feeling so good. I feel really proud of myself. I'm confident. And some of you will wait like 3 weeks. Like, you'll do 21-day fix and then you'll get on the scale just to prove that you deserve to feel this good, right? So you're like, oh my God, I feel so good. My clothes are fitting better. I have more energy. I'm really proud of myself. I'm sleeping better. You know, I have confidence again. I'm gonna get on the scale because surely I've lost weight and that's gonna make me feel really good. So I'll prove it. And you get on the scale and you're like, what? Oh my God, I haven't even lost any weight, or I've lost a couple pounds, right? And immediately the wind gets sucked out. And immediately so does your motivation. And all the things that you felt good about before don't matter because that number. Does that make any sense? Like, it makes zero to me. You do not need to know how much you weigh. It is not an indicator of health. It's not an indicator of progress. And it's just your relationship with gravity. That's really all it is. There's so many other ways that I want you to measure your progress. I want you to measure it by how you feel. I want you to measure it by showing up. You know, plug and play or pushing play on your workouts, drinking your shake. Not beating yourself up is a huge one. So when you do indulge in something and you can let that guilt go, celebrate the shit out of that. Feel proud as fuck about that. That's a really big deal. I want you to measure it by how your clothes fit, right? So like, we went to Greece, and then I came home and it was John's birthday. And then we had, after John's birthday, John's best friend and his wife came to town. They stayed with us, and it was Memorial Day weekend. So we partied all weekend. I don't get on the scale to be like, how much damage did you do by making all those memories and having fun the last 2.5, 3 weeks? Like, I don't need that. I can tell when I put my clothes on that I'm bloated because they're tight and they feel uncomfortable. Like, I don't need a scale to say like, oh man, you gained 10 pounds. Just, you disgusting piece of shit. Because that's the way we talk to ourselves. You don't need it. So I'm telling you right now, I'm a big, big, big fan of photos. You can measure if you want. You're not allowed to weigh yourself. For sure, take pictures. 100% take pictures. You don't have to show them to anyone. You don't have to post them. Bonus points if you do, because I feel like it's even more accountability to share them in the group. We are all starting at ground zero. Nobody's before photos are flattering, but take them. Take them because you will be so astonished with how much you change, and also how much, like, my favorite thing is seeing the face trend, just the confidence that people get. So take your photos because you'll be able to see. Use your clothes. I also do this thing called Wear It Again Wednesday. Go into your closet, pick out something that you love, that you would love to wear, but just doesn't fit anymore. Put it on, take a picture, and then try it again in 3 weeks. See how it fits. Try it again in, like, if you've seen, I don't know how long you've been following me, but if you've seen my postpartum journey, I did this last January when I was first got back into fitness. Things I couldn't even get up, like, over my thighs, like not even my hips, like over my thighs I couldn't. And then, 6 months later, it wasn't 3 weeks, it wasn't 3 months, it was 6 months later. Like, it's okay to take the time, right? Because I'm not missing out on anything. So there are coaches that can get results faster, but I'm not interested in faster results. I'm interested in getting results in a lifestyle that is sustainable to me, that still feels fun, because I want to live while I'm here. I don't want restriction. I don't want to go to a ballpark and feel like I can't have a hot dog or a beer. I don't want to live like that. And there's coaches that say like, oh, but I love the challenge. I love the challenge of loving myself. That's the challenge I'm interested in. Loving myself, getting in the photos, having photos taken of me, seeing a photo and not immediately critiquing how I look. Eating things and not beating myself up. That's the challenge. Right? So for me, and I'm guessing for you guys since you chose me, but if not, also, if as you're listening to me or as you're in the boot camp, you're like, this girl is not my jam, that's okay. No hard feelings. There's 400,000 coaches. There's another one that will work for you. It's no problem if I'm not your jam. I get it. I'm not everyone's jam, but if I am, then you've got to trust me. All right. So for the boot camp, it is ongoing, right? So you'll see people like posting their sweaty selfies. So I have 5 scheduled posts a day. I have a sweaty selfie. So try to post your sweaty selfie as like a workout accountability in the comments of that, so that the feed isn't full of, sweaty selfies. And then the feed gets more of like the celebrations and the non-scale victories and stuff like that. So I have sweaty selfie. I have questions. So you can ask questions there and I'll answer them. I have a meal plan, like recipe, if you find a new recipe or you want to share your meal diary as an accountability. I have a gratitude. So 3 things you're grateful for, which is huge. Just getting you guys in the attitude of gratitude and that mindset. And even if you have the worst day ever, just like thankful that you have clean drinking water, that you have electricity, and that you're above ground, like just at the basic level. If you have the worst day ever, right? What are things that you can, so that's really important, because we spend a lot of time in, and it's really natural for most people in America and Canada, just most humans on the planet, to live in like this pissed off, like, woe is me. That's like the normal, work for the weekends and then you just bitch about everything and like, whatever. So attitude of gratitude is really important. So doing those things, and then the rate your day. So reflecting on your day, how did I do today? And just keeping you accountable. So those are 5 scheduled posts. Then I also try to go live several days a week just to check in and whatever. I don't always have a lot of value there, but it's just, hey, here's me on my journey. So yeah, post those things in the comments of those types of posts. And then in the feed, share whatever else. Share a non-scale victory, share something that you're struggling on. And I will also say, those of you who do fall off, because these are rules that you guys have built up. I mean, and it was me too. So I feel like I'm preaching at you, but I had to preach to myself for just a couple of years ago, like all the time. But we're coming into this with years of this diet mentality and rules around food. And so it's going to take some time to break it. You're still going to think like on plan, off plan, good food, bad food, even though those things don't exist in this world. But there's going to be some of you who are going to like, fall off, and you're going to feel so discouraged or like you're a failure. And then you'll like quit the group and you won't show up. Show up anyway. Take a week off, YOLO, do whatever, self-loathing, have a pity party. Fine. Show up again when you're ready and say, this is what's gone down. I'm ready to recommit. Okay. And I also would really recommend you guys finding accountability partners within each other, because the group is so big. So, checking in on like, hey, I see Mandy and Carly here, right? Like if you guys were partners, you'd be like, okay, got my work in. Carly, how's it going for you? Right? And you can do little pods as well, whatever. So find people, and that is really, like if there's groups of you, there's people that do live Zoom workouts together like this, but they work out live. So there's all kinds of ways to have that accountability, but that's how the boot camp works. I talked about a little bit about personal development. There is a book that I just started reading, I'm obsessed with, and she really dives into intuitive eating. It is called, and so I would recommend you guys to buy this. I'm listening to it on Audible, but I also just bought it so I can highlight things and share my takeaways. It's called Intuitive Eating, a Revolutionary Program That Works, and it looks like this. So you can get it on Amazon or Audible. My favorite, my Bible, I'm not religious, but I'm super spiritual, is called You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. But personal development is king. You've got to do personal development. Something for your brain. In the same way that exercise is fitness for your body, personal development is fitness for your mind. All right, now I think that's all I had on my list. So I want to, actually, I'm going to see if I can find that ebook so I can make sure you guys know what I'm talking about. But now I'm going to go through questions in just a second. Pull up this ebook. Yep, give me a sec. See what it's called. Okay, while that's loading, I'll go through questions. So Grace said, I just started another round of Lift 4 last week. So Monday would be week 2, day 1. Should I start over? Keep going. Just keep going. We're all going to be kind of doing our own thing and there's people that started back. When did this group start? March or April, something like that. So there's people, like we're all on different days. So just keep going. Good. All of you guys saying that. I'm still breastfeeding. I fall within plan A. Plan B should be enough calories while breastfeeding, right? I would watch your supply. Yeah, that's what they say. They say to add whatever the equation says, add 500 calories to it, and that usually bumps you up to the next plan. But if you feel like your supply is varying at all, then go up to plan C, or you can go in between too, right? Like you can, I don't know what the difference is between plan B and plan C, but you saw that between plan A and plan B was just an extra fruit, an extra carb, and extra fat. So you could just have like an extra fat or an extra carb or whatever, sounds good. So you don't have to like go fully to the next plan. You can kind of play around with that. 80-Day Obsession is an amazing program. I love it. It's just a huge commitment. So Laura said she was thinking about doing it. Is it not recommended? I am obsessed with 80-Day Obsession. It's just the workouts are like 45 minutes to an hour. And it's 80 days. Well, it's 80 days, but not on Sundays. So it's really like 92 days or so. So it's a 3-month program. So it's just a commitment. That's why I don't always recommend it just in case it's, I don't know if you guys can hear that. I think John's cheering really loud. So I'm guessing he bought Revy a basketball hoop yesterday. I'm guessing she's putting the ball in the basket because he's like, woo, and whistling. So yeah, it's an amazing program with great results. If you want to try 80-Day Obsession, kind of moves, but you don't want to commit to the whole thing. There's one called A Little Obsessed, which are 30-minute workouts, and then A Little More Obsessed, which are 45-minute workouts. So those are 1 week and 2 week, 1 week each program. But otherwise, I mean, you'll have insane results with ADD Obsession. In that, she does have a different meal plan, time nutrition. No. Some people love that because they love the structure. So you can try it. That was way too stressful for me. Way too many food rules. I'm not a fan. Oh, thanks, Mandy. Okay. Millie said, I recently had to eliminate gluten from my diet. How easy or challenging is the plan to follow if you're gluten-free? This plan's great for any dietary issues, dairy, vegetarian, vegan, because you get to make it yourself. And if you're vegan, there is vegetarian and vegan food lists. So it's like your carbs and your protein lists look different. And so do your portion sizes and stuff, or not sizes, portion, how many you're supposed to have of each container. But yeah, gluten-free. I mean, I'm gluten-free. It just means you have like sweet potatoes and rice and whatever else is gluten, like gluten-free bread. I don't know. I mostly do, I don't know. I don't really follow this plan anymore. Like last night we had white rice, gluten-free crackers. You could have, I mean, so you can make it because it's not like a strict thing. So for sure you can do that. I read you can take your daily Shakeology while pregnant. The official answer is you should always check with your doctor. I took it while I was pregnant the whole time. All of my friends take it. But you should just take it in and ask, because some people take that in replacement of their prenatal. Some people say, okay, take this and, you know, an additional iron supplement or whatever. So it just depends, you know. I did, my doctor said, yeah, this is fine, and take a prenatal on top of it. So that's what I did. But everybody's different. I would just say, ask your doctor. I don't think there's any harm to the baby. There are some doctors who say, oh no, you shouldn't take this. But that's just because they see it in a bag and they think it's like some supplement, but it's 100% food. If you guys look at the bag of Shakeology, there are no additives, no preservatives. There's nothing fake in there. There's nothing. Like it is all, it's food. Really, it's amazing. So, you know, and yet the doctors don't have an issue with you eating Taco Bell or Burger King, like, you know, or Doritos. Like the shit I ate when I was pregnant, top ramen and Pop-Tarts were like the entire first trimester. So then if you're going to tell me Shakeology's a no, I'm like, but you're fine with me eating, you know what I mean? So ask the doc. Is the Shakeology supposed to help curb cravings? Yeah, so Shakeology is not, and also I will mention about Shakeology, you might not love it the first time you have it. Play around with the flavors and the recipes. I didn't love it when I first tried it. Now I crave it because I found a recipe that's my favorite, but so I didn't have a huge change in my body, and it's not a weight loss shake. It's not meant for that. The way Shakeology works is, in general, when you have a craving, it's really a deficiency in your body that your brain is manifesting as a craving. So you're deficient in this nutrient. Your brain says, oh, you need, you know, like when you're hungover, you're deficient in this, you need fatty, greasy food. You're craving salty, you're craving, like it's really a deficiency. So what I found when I was drinking Shakeology, someone who's a sugar addict, is when you drink Shakeology, it fills those nutrient tanks so that you're not deficient in any nutrients. So then your body doesn't have the cravings. And so I just found my willpower to be much stronger, where I just didn't want it. Like I didn't feel like I needed it and I didn't crave it. So it should definitely help with that. And there's not really, like someone said, should I wait to take my Shakeology until lunch to help with those cravings for the evening? For me, I didn't really notice like that there's a time that's best to take Shakeology. Whenever, just as long as you get it in every day, you're good. I sometimes felt like it was best to have it in the morning because I kind of work out in the morning, and then Shakeology in the morning kind of set my tone for the day, where I felt like, oh, I showed up for me. I feel proud. Like then, you know, you feel like, I don't know, it just kind of sets the tone for the day. But I've had it for dinner. I've had it for lunch. I've had it for snack. I've had it twice in a day, you know. Okay, someone said, I ordered 30 servings of Shakeology. I signed up for the monthly order. I'm worried with the transit time, I won't have enough servings to have one every day. Should I order another bag to have during the days? I don't know. I mean, you should have it every day, but if I were you, I probably wouldn't order another bag because You don't want like a stockpile of it. And it's not, I mean, I don't like to say Shakeology is expensive because all the research I've done, I'm like, oh, this is worth every penny and I would pay double. Like, it's insane. And I'm not just spewing shit, you guys. Like, I was a hard sell on Shakeology. I am a firm believer in it now. But it is 130 bags unless you signed up for the discount, then it's 97. But I think it's up to you. And I also would say, like, you could do, you know, like 3/4 scoop or something and see, maybe that extends it. I don't know. I don't have an answer to that. I think it's your call. You could at least try it for a month and see, but you can also change your ship date. So that's something I will share really quick, actually. Oh, and this right here, you guys, is the thing that you should have gotten, this ebook. Oh, contract's important. Do that. Here's some mindset stuff. All kinds of things, right? Okay, so here's, and actually, I don't know if this is like, yeah, this is not the right one. This is a very outdated one, but I don't know where my updated one is. And my computer's being so slow, but it looks different than that. I don't know where it is. I wonder if it got deleted, because I don't see it here. I know I have it downloaded, but I don't know where it is. But anyway, all right, let me show you. So your teambeachbody.com, here's how you edit your orders of anything. If you need to cancel anything, you have to call, but you sign in. And then up here, go to my orders. I don't know what I have, because I have 5 different business centers, so I don't know what I have ordered through my first, but hopefully I have something. Okay, so yeah, so I've got beach bars here. So you can, like, it says what date this is billing, right? So the next one is gonna be June 21st. So you can click on this, click for details, and you can do change flavor, change ship date, cancel, I think it says call. Yeah, so you gotta, whatever, call. So that's how you do that, is you can edit it right on there. Shakeology is a meal replacement. If you drink your Shakeology post-workout, do you mix it with the post-workout? Yeah, you can, or you can do it separately, whatever you want. Post-workout drink is delicious. You're gonna die. The Facebook group, oh, it doesn't work, I'm sorry. It's called Best Life Bootcamp, and it looks like this. This is the cover photo. Oh wait, hold on, I didn't share my screen. That's the cover photo. Best Life Bootcamp. Okay. I mean, Grace said I have a appointment for a body composition test and a metabolic rate. I mean, you can do that because you're not going to be doing that every day, you know. You can schedule that now and then schedule another one for 6 months from now, but not, you know, people that jump on the scale in the morning and then after their workout and then after lunch just to see like all the fluctuations, hoping that their weight's down. Or even people that weigh daily or whatever, like that's what I mean. But yeah, if you want to keep that appointment, that sounds probably good. Do we just choose a workout to do every day? Oh, there's a calendar. So in the program materials, when you click on whatever program you decide, under program materials where I showed you where the nutrition guide is, it will have a calendar. So then you can follow that. I never received the books or maybe missed them. Anyway, I can access them. What book are you talking about? And yes, so email me, I guess, if you don't have access to the book or the ebook or the group or something. My tropical strawberry recipe is 1.5-ish cups water, 1/2 cup orange juice. I do now, my very favorite is that base with like 5 frozen strawberries, half a frozen banana, and then a scoop of Power Greens, tropical strawberry. Boom, so good. But now I do like this mixed bag. It's with from Costco with riced cauliflower. That you guys cannot, it adds like a creaminess to your shake. Riced cauliflower, cannot taste the cauliflower, and it gets a serving of veggies in, so that kind of acts like ice. And then I have this bag of like berries and kale stuff that I get from Costco. It's not as good, but I feel like it's better for me, so I do it. One of the first assignments in the new coach university is to share. The coach question should be asked we'll have a new coach call on Monday, getting started right. And then also we have our team page. Why is nobody getting the ebook email? This is so weird. I've also posted, hold on, sharing this again. The ebook is also under the file section right here, self-love, which I just remembered, which would have been easier to show you a while ago. So this is slow. This is the ebook. So you all have access once you're in the boot camp. Are we going to be using the challenge tracker app? I don't use that. I don't check it for anything. It's only to like check your shake and your workouts. I think we might have one going. I don't know. I haven't looked at it in a year. My assistant sometimes adds people to it. So if you want to, you can. But I don't do anything with it. It's just so that you can like check a box. But there's also a 21-day fix app or an ultimate portion fix app that you can check things off. So you can. Can we drink the post-workout with it? Oh, just ask that. All right. I think that's all. So thank you guys for hopping on this morning. Hopefully this answered a lot of your questions and you feel ready to rock on Monday. I do recommend, like in the beginning, writing out at least a general guideline for a meal plan of what you want to eat this week. Otherwise, and that is going to take work. And I will say this whole thing is going to take work because you are reshaping your brain. You're reforming habits, replacing old habits with new ones. Like it's going to take effort. I think a lot of times people join and they think, oh, well, this is going to be easy. But it is easy now. It's effortless for me now, but it's hard in the beginning because you're pushing up against years of these habits that you've built and these mindset stuff that you've, created. So, it's going to take work. The meal plan is going to take work. It will be worth it. So do that in the beginning. Write out what you want to eat this week. Go shopping. Get things prepared so that when you're starving or when you have an emotional day, you don't have to reach for the quickest thing. You've got something's already prepared. So, all right, you guys, I'm so excited to follow your journeys. So order a personal development, what you should do this weekend. Do the meal prepping, planning, grocery shopping. Take your before measurement or before photos. Order a personal development book and get excited. I can't wait. All right, you guys, have a good one. Bye.